Hey there, Doc. Today we're going to be talking about the number 2 thing you need to do in order to get ready for 2014. And again, this is a series of 9 things we're doing to prepare. Number 1 was to set goals. Hopefully you remember that from earlier this week. Setting goals is imperative. We have to have those, and hopefully one of your goals was numbers of patients you want to see, number of new patients, that type of stuff. So we're going to end up talking about some marketing over the course of these 9 steps. The first place to start with marketing, in my opinion, always, before you start doing anything external, is do some internal marketing. And the easiest way to boost your volume is really by doing a very aggressive reactivation program. So that's step 2. The second thing we need to do, start planning your reactivation program for 2014. As I said, best way to market, if you're going to start marketing, there's no use really going out and talking to some cold leads before you really take care of the people who have been in to see you before, who probably like you, who probably want to come back and see you. They're just not necessarily thinking about it. So let's get in front of them. And New Year's is the perfect time to do that. Obviously, everybody has their health resolutions. Everybody wants to change something, and we want to be in front of them. We want you to be their health expert at this time of year. So, a couple things about the reactivation program that you're going to be planning for the first of the year. One, is it's a good time. Step 3, which we're going to be talking about next week, is going to be to purge and simplify. I'll give you a little foreshadowing there. And this is an important time to purge and simplify too. We want to look at that list, and too many other consultants will tell you to just take your entire list and mail to them, and that's just very efficient in my opinion. We should be following the 80-20 rule here, because you're going to get 80% of your results from 20% of the people on that list. So if you have 1,000 people on your list and you mail to all 1,000 of them, and let's just say for easy numbers it costs $1 per mailing, and that's $1,000 you just spent, and the results you get is probably out of 20% of that list. So the funny thing is, most of my docs, when they've whittled their list down, they know who those 20% are. You know who might come back. So I always recommend, first and foremost, before you ever plan a reactivation program in a letter or anything like that, is to take care of your list. So look at your list, pull it out of your computer system, however you have it. All too often I see doctors that haven't taken care of their list at all over the years, and they've basically just, it's either in the computer system or they created some sort of an Excel spreadsheet. They might mail it to them once or twice a year, but then they don't really refine it. So again, in that example, let's say you have 1,000 people on your list. I want you to go through it with a fine-tooth comb and pick out your top 20%. So in this example, 200 people that you, A, would love to see again, and B, think you have a chance of reactivating. There's probably, the way I've seen it come out is there's 20% of people like that you're just your top 20%ers. 50% in the middle are okay, they're good people, you want to see them again. There's probably 20 or 30% at the bottom that you'd probably rather not see again. I mean, if they come in your office, you're going to take care of them, but it's not like you're going to spend money to go after them. So let's focus on that top 20% right now for this reactivation program. Because again, you'll probably get 80% of your results of mailing to 1,000 by just mailing to 200. So much better return on your investment that way. So first and foremost, get your list down as small as you can get it so that it's effective. So look at that top 20%. And number 2 is going to be what kind of message we send to them. So again, first of the year, there's lots of things we can talk about. Obviously, their health is important to them right now. There's some insurance changes going on, whether for the better or the worse. We should be in front of that. A lot of doctors change their fees first of the year, so those are things we can talk about if you have anything else new going on. And then thirdly, for me, is making sure that this isn't a one-time deal. I see a lot of programs out there that are, hey, let's contact them January 1st and tell them, about the resolutions to come on in, and then they forget about them again. To me, if you're going to do a program for reactivation, it should be a 4, 5, 6 touch series. So let's look at this not as a 1 touch, but let's say a 5 touch. And if you go back to what I said earlier, if you take 20% of your list, so instead of mailing to 1,000 people, we're only mailing to 200 people, I'd much rather send them 5 letters for the same cost as opposed to send everybody 1 letter. So let's get those top 20%ers, and let's plan 5 touches over the course of 2, 3, 4, 5 months. You're going to have a much better response that way because, again, you got the best part of your list. And number 2, that frequency of being important to them, being in front of them is going to be very important as well. So let's plan your reactivation program. Let's start thinking about it. Obviously, we don't want to release it until January, maybe late December if you really want to get ahead of the ball. But number 1, whittle your list down to your top 20%. Number 2, start planning your messages. And number 3, make sure it's multiple messages, not just a single one. If you have email addresses, obviously that's important as well. You can send some direct mail letters, but you can also send some email messages as well. But you put those 3 things together in a package. January, February, March should be a great time for reactivations. bringing those people back in that you want to see again anyway. And again, it's really the easiest marketing campaign to do because these people already know you and like you. So let's start planning that. Again, next week I already kind of gave you a hint. We're going to be talking about purging and simplifying. So I look forward to talking to you next week.